Hey, Scott and Christian. This is Ian from Wisconsin again. And I thought that I would tell you one of the weird things that has happened to me. And I have not had many. So I'll be candid. I can count on one hand the number of strange things that I myself have experienced. And this one, it involved my mom first. I was at home in my apartment, and my mom called me all of a sudden, and she was in this little town called Fulton, and it's about 20 minutes from where I live. Just this little town, has a cool dam, and that's what she was there. She was going there to fish. She called me because she said that as she had parked, she was approaching the dam. She saw this big hairy head sticking out above from the embankment that she would go down to go to the water to fish. And it was not Christian's large head, I don't think. And she estimated from, and it is only an estimate, but the thing must have been about 8 feet tall in order for the head to be visible from where she was standing, looking at the thing as it was standing on the embankment. So she called me to tell me because I'm about this. I'm about looking into it, trying to understand it and all that. Yeah. So I jump up and I'm taking notes in a notebook as I have her tell me every detail again. I'm jotting it all down. And I have this lamp that stands in my room. And it has it's not just a, on off, you pull a chain or something, right? It has a fader. It's like brass dial, right? And when you turn it off, it makes a pretty satisfying click sound. And as I was writing all this down, the light started to diminish in my bedroom, noticeably get darker. And I looked at my lamp and I saw the dial turning lower, and then off. And I heard that click. I watched it as it reached that position, and it clicked. And that really weirded me out. That is an understatement. But that gave the suggestion, at least, of something having knowledge of my mom talking to me about this thing that had just happened. And that happened with some frequency, not all the time, I won't exaggerate, but with some frequency with Bigfoot sightings and with a number of the Mothman sightings as well, where it's not just that you saw this thing, but then these strange, eerie things happen when you're home afterward too, and that almost makes it eerier, I think. So, man, really long throat-clearing prologue there. I apologize, but in a way, it's pretty low-key, but in another way, it's also really, really strange. And I'm not saying that I don't know what I'm not saying, because a big, tall, hairy thing, like, is that Bigfoot? I don't know, man. Whatever it was, I'm not saying that it turned the lamp off in my room, but it certainly does seem like something that bore some kind of connection to what she had just seen, was aware of the observation, and as it was being relayed to me, kind of messed with me emotionally a little bit, because that was eerie. Yeah, that's one of the things that happened to me. And again, there's not many, but that one really sticks with me. So if that's worth anything for you fellas, awesome.
Hell yeah.
If not, I'm still just glad to fill your mailbox with 3 voicemails now. Okay. Signing out. Peace.
Bigfoot is an alien confirmed.
Isn't that kind of weird?
That's very weird.
It's weird that, like, obviously the connection between, his mom seeing a Sasquatch head possibly, but at the exact same time, while she's relaying that information, he just so happens to have one of the few crazy things that happened in his life, and it's a ghost turning off a lamp. Like, what are the odds of those two things happening within a 5-minute span of each other while he's on the phone with his mom hearing the story?
Do you think the government agency that was in charge of like shutting that phone call down, whoever it was that adjusted the lamp instead of the phone, do you think he got fired?
Maybe. It's like, oops.
Yeah,
it's just weird, man. It's weird because there should be nothing between these two stories. And maybe there is. What if it is just a crazy coincidence that at the exact moment he was hearing about his mom potentially seeing a Bigfoot, some ghost in the house was like, oh, that's crazy. You like that? You like darkness, Ian?
no,
Huh?
you know what it is. It's an insecure ghost. Oh,
So
gonna
suddenly
lose
I'm not
interest.
the only thing in the world. Gotcha.
Yeah, let me remind him of who he loves.
Yeah, you like that?
Gertrude.
Of course. It's an old person ghost.
Yeah, the insecure ghost.
Man, that is such a weird story. Number one, did you get the reference, the Christian's large head?
Yeah.
From the soundbite that has not been played on the show in like a year and a half?
I figured it was one of the other many things, which
Rub my large head.
is kind of funny because
I have the biggest head.
you
Yeah.
have an abnormally large head.
It's a gigantic head. School children used to make fun of me for it.
Rub my large head.
I had to shop for a hockey helmet for your son. I know what it's like.
Yeah, it's a grown-ass man's helmet for sure.
I think I could fit that helmet.
Probably could, yeah. But more importantly, the reason it wasn't directed towards me was because I'm not someone that says really weird things in this podcast. I know it seems strange, but you said that rub my large head.
Rub my large head.
Do you remember that soundbite? People love that soundbite. I should bring it back.
I don't remember ever saying that.
Rub my large
in
head.
Are you
life.
serious? Do I have to dig it up right now?
I mean,
hey, comment rub my large head if you remember the rub my large head bit.
I don't. But also, you know me. You know that when I say stuff afterwards, I'm like, oh, yeah, did I say that?
Half the time, the next episode, I'll play exactly what you said on the last episode. And you're like, I never said that. I'm like, it's verbatim because I cut it right out of the thing. And actually, that's more difficult now with the video podcasts because I can't just export as an audio clip in the like I do in the audio.
Yes.
So we'll dig back through the archives. Trust me, the archives are long and deep. Okay. You just need to trust.
This is why I'm glad I'm a Leo, because I can take some of it. Sometimes I cry.
But only don't let them see you cry. You cry when you get back home.
Yeah, I'm Generation X. Nobody gets to see me cry.
That's true. And I'm a millennial, so I'll cry right here, right now, in front of everyone and
Unless
embarrass
you're
my
watching-
family.
Yeah, unless you're watching a movie with me.
Yeah.
I might cry then. Old Yeller got me early.
As far as the Bigfoot thing, Ian, I honestly don't know, man. That is pretty fascinating. And what you said about, you're like, oh, it's not much. But the thing is, and we've talked about this in the past, I feel like ghost stories that aren't crazy and out there are more believable than the ones that are. And so for me personally, I'm like, hey, this is a check for the box of ghosts existing at the very least, or demons. We could play with that. We're not going to because Christian's here right now, but you and I, Ian, we could discuss. I think something so mundane like that just has no rhyme or reason for happening would convince me of the spiritual realm more than these crazy stories where people are like, and then a demon hopped out of my closet and it came and ate my feet.
Oh, Bill Belichick demon. Could be Quentin Tarantino, but he's alive. I think Bill Belichick is too.
They're both alive.
No, it's not Bill Belichick. It was a different coach.
Isn't Bill Belichick into feet? Or no, he's into really young women.
Yeah, like all the rich
He's a
people.
pervert. Isn't that cool? Isn't that fun?
I mean, I think it's okay to say, oh, that woman's pretty, but if you're like older than me, you shouldn't be dating
That's true. You shouldn't be dating.
somebody a little bit older than Atlas.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, he's getting up there in the years. It's fine. It's fine. Ian, thank you again. Christian, do you have any closing for that?
I love a good Bigfoot story.
I know. And then I don't know, it's gonna eat me up because I just picture this head, like his mom's just walking down some embankment and you just see this big hairy head staring at him.
Was Todd standing around?
I know, right? It's like posed perfectly.
Yeah. My wife did this.
Yeah. Tell your mom to look at Todd standing photos and we'll figure it out from there.
That would be hilarious.
She's like, oh my God, that was him.
I've never heard
was Todd standing.
That's one of the weirder Bigfoot stories I've heard, though. With things happening in two different places, makes no sense.
But isn't there is, like he kind of mentioned, the Mothman thing. You know, sometimes people will see something crazy and then it almost, not necessarily, but it like follows you home. And then suddenly your life is crazy for a short period of time.
I mean, they did have a lot of Mothman sightings in Illinois. Not a terrible. If it can get up to Illinois, it can get to Wisconsin.
Well, we've established it's got wings. So flight patterns It shouldn't be an issue. Wherever it wants to go.
Even the Mothman gets tired sometimes, and there's a lot of lights on the way.
It's like a dad joke. It lands. It's like, I flew here, and my arms are tired. You know,
Yeah.
Classic dad humor. You're welcome. Anyway, we've got one more that we're going to get to. And Ian, feel free to send in any of your mundane experiences. All right.
Mundane's better.
Mundane is it's more believable, and it actually is more convincing that something crazy is going on than the wild and out there stories.
Yeah.
But I also love the wild and out there stories. So
Do you remember my mundane ghost story? Started off mundane, and then I realized
grabbed your butt.
there were sexual connotations to it.
Was it perhaps a dolphin?
No, not. I don't like dolphins like that. They're cool and everything. That's not my thing.
They have no porpoise. That's fine. And with that, let's take a half second for half day.
Hey, so I think something's up with my neighbor's house. I live in a cul-de-sac in Oregon. Normal neighborhood, lots of pine trees, cul-de-sac potlucks. It's great, honestly, but the house next door has been, shifting. Not like structurally, it's not sinking or anything, but the layout changes. I swear it had 2 windows upstairs, and now it has 3. The porch used to face my house, and now it's angled towards the woods. I asked the neighbors about it, and they all said that house has always been vacant. Except I've talked to the guy who lives there. I mean, just last week, we chatted about sprinkler timers. He had a mustache and everything. You can't forget that. Now, the inside of the house glows at night. Soft yellow light, almost like candlelight, but it's flickering faster than it should. Like Morse code, but with mood lighting. So my question is, do I call someone about this, like a surveyor or maybe a priest? Or is this just a really elaborate home renovation I'm not evolved enough to understand? Any advice, truly any at all, would be just absolutely fantastic. Thanks, fellas. Love the show.
I feel like our anonymous caller, just like the last time we had an anonymous caller, maybe they're dealing with the government in some way.
There's a little more freedom for the anonymous calls, it turns out. It gets a little more wacky. And that's fine.
Like the lights flickering like that, that's obviously a form of mind control. Everybody knows that.
Not everybody, but you could regale us with some tales if you would.
Well, there's just certain things that flickering lights can do, and we all know about the warnings on video games for people that might have seizures, but if it can affect seizures...
Is that still a thing?
Yeah, I still see them every once in a while.
Play the game, all right? Just play it. If you die, you die. It's fine.
No game is worth dying for.
You don't know that. You play the original Halo?
Never liked Halo.
I know you didn't.
Don't at me.
That makes perfect sense. For everything I know about you, Christian, that makes perfect sense.
I like realistic shooter games. But anyway, back to the mind control.
Oh, did you hear that? Christian likes realistic shooter games, not the fantasy ones where you know it's fake.
How else do you release tension? Is that wrong? Like I have that kind of tension. Everybody knows me by now.
Yeah, you'd be the tamest, bleep this, that you'd be the tamest of all time, Christian.
Oh, please bleep that. Always too soon for that one.
What happens every other day? There's never enough time to pass, Christian. I can't joke about something if it never passes. It's fine.
What do you think?
I think it's about time we bring back mental institutions.
Thank you, Reagan, for taking those away. This guy should be in one because houses that don't shift. I don't know if you know
they
that.
They just don't shift. And this is a spooky ghost podcast, friend. All right. We know about these things.
The only time they shift is if they're on an unstable hill or overlooking the ocean
And then you got bigger problems than ghosts, pal. All right?
You might soon become one if you don't get out.
Get out.